What's good to my champs all around the world? It's your boy Champ Jones checking in once again with another episode of Love Jones, where we speak and highlight relationships, trials and tribulations, challenges from the male perspective. However, I'm not biased. I'm completely transparent, and I'm completely open to opinions and different perspectives. But needless to say, I'm definitely a self-proclaimed male advocate when it comes to these different types of topics. But needless to say, I'm still human, so I'm definitely open to different conversations, if you will, if it's solution based. So today I want to build with y'all on a topic that's been on my mind for a minute. Life been life, so I haven't been able to really do my content as much as I've been wanting to. But needless to say, a few monkeys can't stop the circus, so we got to keep the show going as well. But needless to say, yeah, man, that T. Amari, Corey Hardrick joint. I know it's old at this point, but it's one of them things where that is a highlighted example to the reality some dudes got to deal with and some women. I won't demonize or weaponize this conversation for one gender nor another, but it's just an interesting observation in my way of looking at things when I see a woman claim she graduated from her marriage. And I understand sometimes we gotta come up or take on certain concepts, words and phrases and ways of thinking to either mask or to rehabilitate a version of ourselves that we no longer want to experience again. So in so many ways, when she said she graduated from the marriage, that could have been, something symbolic. I'm not sure if it was literal, but me just being a man and just hypothetically speaking, if I wasn't in tune, if it was symbolic or not, just hearing she graduated from a marriage, then it's like, wow, I don't know how to take that no more. I don't know to look forward to marriages no more. I don't know to look forward to relationships in a sense of you gotta know who you're dealing with, man. Firstly, you gotta know who you're dealing with. But if you go in there with the preconceived notion of I'm gonna get the results that my aunt and uncle had, or my mom and dad had, or my grandparents, or my sister had, or my brother had, I feel like this is a time, man, where it's over. It's over. And I'm not being pessimistic. I'm being optimistic in the sense of this is a time now where you will, I feel, in so many ways naturally gravitate to the person that you're supposed to be with, or persons depending on how you rock. But being with a person who can say in so many ways they graduated, it made me understand like there's a lot of motives with relationships, right? So hypothetically speaking, metaphorically speaking, if we're going to approach relationships in a way of a classroom or a course or an institution in which you are only here to learn what I need you to learn to gain these core competencies, if you will. And once you maximize and learn these competencies, and I can see you apply them in the real world, then not only have you completed the assigned work, but you've graduated to no longer need what I just had you in for this duration of time. That's dangerous to me. Like, if we got individuals, I won't say all men or women, but we're gonna stick to the script. If we got a plethora of women, or even a minority number that feels that relationships with men are stages and test quizzes, if you will, to whom they're supposed to be in their greatest version of themselves, fellas, be careful. Be careful. Be careful because at this point, we may not be sure if it's genuine or if somebody are using us for measuring sticks or as metrics to see how far they've come, how far they have to go to be whom they think they want to be or whom they're aspiring to be. So, fellas, if that's the case, if that's how the lay of the land go out, I need y'all to overstand a few things. in the classroom, if you will, in this institution of interpersonal and companionship and graduation, going to these circumstances, allowing women to be the experts of their experience. Allowing. Too many times, if you in a classroom, you, oh damn, she look like, yo sis, you need help. I could. Sometimes that can be too much of a crutch. That can make you a liability on yourself, make you a codependent for somebody just because you have a great heart and you want to see everybody push in the class, see everybody pass. However, when it comes to this type of classroom, you got to allow them to fail. You have to allow them to fail. You have to allow them to experiment, experience, learn, grow, and apply. If you insist on inputting your expertise on them, you may be useful for a short period of time, but in the long run, it's almost like you're enabling this individual to keep you around just for one less worry. Don't get it twisted. Some women may be the ones to be like, oh, thank you. Take your word of advice and apply it and learn from me and grow. But we're working with the ones who look at it like this is a graduation. I know there's women who not like that, but we're focusing on the ones that want to graduate, right? So in that case, bang, allow them to be the expert of their own experience. After that, what was the other joint? Oh, be mindful. Be mindful of this, right? Be mindful of this. The classroom could be distracting. The classroom could be distracting. The classroom can be distracting. I remember from the first time I walked into elementary school to my last day of high school, class can be distracting, metaphorically speaking, when we speak in the institution of relationships and women graduating from marriages and graduating from relationships. Fellas, I need you to be mindful that when you're in a room or a classroom, the world, if you will, in this room or in this world, the classroom could be distracting. You got all type of personalities. You got all type of individuals. You got class clowns. You got motherfucking smarter people than you, people that come in and they just a fly. Like, there's so many people in this class, and I'm gonna be in classrooms with 30 people. There's so many people in there, bruh. You can get distracted, i.e., she can get distracted. But don't let that hinder you from your learning process. Don't let that hinder you from growing. She will have to learn in order for her to graduate. She's either want to learn to mitigate and learn how to work through those distractions, or she could be a part of them. Needless to say, I don't want you to get distracted. So keep that in mind. Also, in the frame of using relationships in an institutional way, if you will, fellas, study. Study. Study what, champ? Study yourself. Study your triggers. Study your interests. Study you. The more you study yourself, the more you engage with yourself, the more you learn yourself, you set a different stage. You set a different standard. You bring a different value. You bring a different understanding and calmness and tolerance. Sometimes you could be the smartest person in the room and you could be irritating. You could be annoying. You could be a turnoff unbeknownst to you. You don't even got to be intentionally doing it. But depending how individuals take the class or is engaging with the world, your best attributes may be, in fact, their do nots, their biggest deal breakers. So in the classroom of women wanting to graduate and move on from people or individuals they're supposed to spend the rest of their lives with or was in deep relationships, one of the ways, I'm not going to say to soften the landing, but one of the ways that can prepare you for such unfortunate circumstances is study yourself. Study your triggers. That'll make it a lot easier for you before you get to where your hat and graduate, right? And last but not least, congratulate them. I applaud you. I give it up. One thing I always told myself when dealing with anybody in any realm of relationships, right? And I wouldn't say it was always like that. I definitely had to learn from a young dude to now. But what I will say, one thing I pride myself on and use as my foundation is I would never force nobody to be with me. I would never force nobody to tolerate me. And needless to say, I wouldn't force myself to be forceful. I wouldn't want to be an inverted burden on someone. It's almost like you know, if you got friends or somebody having like say like in third grade and they having a pizza party for somebody for their birthday. You don't know nothing about it. You walk in the back, you like, oh, what's going on? And the whole everybody look at like this, like you wasn't supposed to know. And now the whole party like, nobody laughing no more, nobody engaged. You like, oh shit, this bigger than not sharing pizza. This something else. That feeling right there of not being genuinely wanted, not being sincerely embraced, I feel like that's more damaging than just swallowing a pill and saying, I wasn't invited to that party. You feel me? In so many ways, we gotta, as men, tell ourselves, that's not the person for me, and I'm not the person for them, and that's fine. That there's nothing stronger than the ability to embrace the things that don't feel good. You get what I'm trying to say? There's nothing wrong with that, especially when you're in a room or a world full of women that want to graduate. And once again, I'm not making it an absolute and saying all women is on that type of time. But the ones who in so many ways are itching to that way or insinuating like they're ready for the next relationship thing don't work for them, marriage don't work for them. Brother, I'm gonna need you to save your mentality, save your mental, save your spirit, because those type of things can be heartbreaking, and they can turn you into something else depending on where you are. Just like if you go in the classroom, if you're not prepared the right way, you will fail. Back in the day, when I was in school, we didn't have the what you call that, no child left behind. Bro, you was staying back. You was staying back. You was staying back. You was gonna be that 8-year-old still in fourth grade, bro, or third grade until you get this right. So move with that concept still. Move with I haven't graduated or made it to the next stage of my life yet until I get these core competencies in place for myself. The classroom of the world can get distracted, man, but the greatest and beautiful thing about it is being intentional. When you intentionally study, when you intentionally focus, and when you intentionally apply things that can better you as a person, you get real life results. And there's nothing better than seeing results that came from you. You understand? And even going forward, women, if y'all in that position now, I'm not spreading no hate speech. But if you're graduating from relationships, companionship, and all that to live your best life, just know everybody may not clap in the audience. And even with that, just know once you graduate high school, you can't go back to I can't go back to 10th grade and be like, yo, 10th grade, if I could go back and fix that and get my GPA right, I could rewrite history. Like, it don't work like that. Once you leave high school, college, or anything pertaining to that in that realm, it's over. It's over. So just be mindful and know not every man is welcoming back. Not every individual you come across may welcome back because they may have graduated to another stage in their lives. So all across the world, just be mindful. And I'm always rambling long enough, but it's been a while, man. I feel like I owe this to y'all. I feel like I owed it to myself too. This was definitely a little therapeutic for me because I've been trying to articulate these type of concepts when I hear them. But needless to say, this is the whole point of living and learning. So until next time, to all of my champs all around the world, breathe, be in the moment, be yourself, stay positive, stay motivated, stay real. One.